Ian MacQuillin, Head of Communications at PFRA. You've just launched the advocacy campaign. Do you want to tell us what that involves?
Yeah, we've got we've got more than four now. We started with four very influential names in fundraising who are going to talk about face-to-face fundraising, how charities use it, why they use it. And the four people we've got to start it are Ken Burnett, Giles Pegram, Rowena Lewis, who was Executive Lead on the Philanthropy Review, and Adrian Sargent, who, fundraising and numbers, if you want to know about fundraising and numbers, Adrian's your man. Since then, we've now got Alan Goschalk, who's Chair of the Impact Coalition. He's the first charity fundraiser to come on board. And Peter Maple, another academic, runs the fundraising MSc course at South Bank University. Now, the reason we're doing this is that in the past, the PFRA has built up a huge fount of knowledge about face-to-face fundraising. So journalists come to us, they want to know about how it's regulated, how the best practice standards are maintained. They also want us to justify how face-to-face fundraising is used. They want information about return on investments, they want to talk about the ethics of it, and then they want us to say why charities use this and why they should carry on doing it. Now, the point is, we aren't a trade association, we're a regulatory body, and we can only talk to that up until a certain point. After that, really, if charities are using face-to-face fundraising, they're the ones that have got to justify to the media and to the public why they're using it. That's not a role that we can do. Now, why are we launching it now? It's actually quite timely because there's going to be the review of the Charities Act 2006 coming up. There was going to be a unified regulatory licensing regime for all kinds of fundraising on the street. But in this regulatory hiatus, we're going to be going to local authorities and saying, let us run your diaries for you, we will agree access for fundraisers, and then we will enforce that. We'll make sure they come on the right days, we'll make sure they conform to best practice standards. Now, it's going to be very hard for us to do that if all these local authorities also see us doing is selling and defending fundraisers in the media all the time. We can't do both things. We can't be, as they perceive us, a trade association defending our members' interests, which we are not, and at the same time saying, trust us, we will keep our members in tow. So the time now has come for the PFRA to step back from advocating and defending face-to-face and let the charities that do it step back for themselves. And the idea with the advocacy program is that when we get questions about how face-to-face should be used, the advocates here can take over themselves and do that for us.
And how will you know when will you know if the campaign has worked?
Well, I think how it will work is that it gets to a point where I'm talking to a journalist, and the journalist might say, well, you would say that you're just defending your members' interests. So there'll be some outputs to it. So what I will do then is say, well, don't trust me, go and talk to Ken Burnett or Rowena Lewis or somebody like that. But how I think it will really work is if the message goes back to the charities and the fundraisers themselves, and that when the media come to them and want to talk about face-to-face, we perhaps won't even hear about it because all the big charities, and not just the fundraisers, but the chief executive and the trustee, and ultimately donors who come through face-to-face and beneficiaries of the charities that they work for too. If they are talking about face-to-face fundraising as well, then I think that an output is that we've succeeded. It will be very nice that if the negative stories also diminish or will rebalance with more positive stories, hopefully that will happen. But at the moment, what we want to see is other people taking up the mantle of advocating face-to-face fundraising.
Ian MacQuillin, thank you very much.
Thank you.